bear. We still haven't found Bigfoot, but hopefully this week we can unearth why that is, what's going on in the paranormal world, in the world of UAPs, UFOs, UHPs, and all sorts of other deep, deep mysteries. Uh, this wasn't a planned stream. I just decided to throw it together earlier in the day. I'm calling it Saturday Night Secrets. Um, it kind of worked out well. Um, I announced earlier in the week that I was going to have a guest on, I think Sunday, but I don't think that's going to work out. But that's awesome because I have someone else here with me tonight. I have my partner Willow. And just like you guys are hearing about some of this stuff for the first time, I'm going to be sharing some things that I think could possibly be true with her, and we're going to explore that together. I don't know.
Yeah, by this hour I'm normally hibernating.
Yeah.
Like, Bigfoot hibernating?
Well, we would have to know a little bit more about.
What's the theory?
There are several theories. You know, it depends on what type of Bigfoot situation we're talking about here. If it's a Yeti, you know, they probably do. I don't. You know, I was thinking about this today. I was thinking because there are a lot of people who, when you start talking about big feet, they just think about large primate, and they don't really associate that necessarily with supernatural things. But one of the things that people will commonly say is, why haven't we found Bigfoot bones, right? If they're big feet, why haven't we found bones? And there are several explanations for that. I've heard people say that we do have Bigfoot bones and that they're misidentified as the bones of human ancestors. But personally, I think that big feet are likely to gather their bones, you know, or because I think that big feet are engaged in supernatural activities. You know, that's why they're so hard to catch, because they're spooky little forest witches, basically. You know, and they use the bones of their ancestors in rituals to.
I read a series one time by, I want to say Marie Brennan. I'd have to confirm. Where the bones of, in this case it was dragons, and when exposed to air, they deteriorate very rapidly. And so they cannot be really examined or found because they simply deteriorate into dust, like, incredibly fast. So there's a theory.
Yeah. That it could be a situation where the bones are.
I know nothing about bones. I don't know how bones work. So anybody with bone knowledge who's,
you know,
like screaming, there's so many things wrong with that, you know, you're probably right. I don't know.
You know, at the end of the day, we've never had a confirmed Bigfoot bone to study. There's a guy who says he's got a Bigfoot tooth. I think that's as close as we've got. It supposedly looks like a human tooth, but very large. That's the difference there.
Yeah, I'm gonna need like a Bigfoot toe.
Yeah, I need a Bigfoot metatarsal to take a look at here. So hello to our one official first viewer. I don't know who you are, but thanks for joining us here on Bear Finds Bigfoot. We don't have a set topic for tonight. We're just kind of free formative here. I did have something that I wanted to bring up, though, that I wanted to spring on you. It's something that our mutual friend, Mr. Dunk, started sharing with me, and you know, at first I was like, there's no way that's true. That's crazy talk, man. There's no way. But I've started to come around to it since this billionaire space race started happening, right? You got people, you know, all of a sudden you got private citizens blasting off into space. Or do you?
I mean, it's not really a race. There's no winners there.
Yeah, nobody wins.
Nobody wins.
So the sky that we see every day, like, what if it was a hologram? I think that could be true. I think that maybe the government.
It's just like a corridor.
Yeah, it's like
of grandmas.
Yeah, basically.
It's a hall of grams.
Yeah, and it's a hologram of us. It's a
Don't you
hologram.
regret inviting me? If you don't yet, you're gonna. We'll work on it.
But
A hologram. Okay.
yeah, it's like a Dyson sphere. Of,
So, like Truman Show kind of thing here?
yeah, a little bit. You know.
So, not quite Matrixy. Like, nobody knew enough program. Well, I mean, that's intense programming.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
I don't know
that
anything
it
about
was.
holograms as well. Bones and holograms.
Yeah.
Things I don't know about.
If I understand holograms correctly, it's basically just really intense and well-defined light. You know.
That to me sounds like the sky.
Yeah. Right. Well, yeah. Right. So, but what if it was artificially created? And I have a couple of different theories as to where it could possibly come from. You know, obviously the government. But what if, you know, that's advanced. What if it's aliens? Because I heard someone say something the other day, which is the vaguest possible statement, that our moon is too big and could possibly be constructed.
How dare we body shame the moon?
We're not body shaming the moon.
We are not body shaming the moon here.
Just saying,
The moon is just fine.
we're not trying to body shame the moon. Or that's not the intent. I'm just saying relative.
Okay, I do have my primary question. Why?
It's to complete the illusion that we live in a world where stuff happens.
I mean, stuff be happening to me a lot.
Yeah.
So
Stuff-
that illusion.
stuff do be
Okay, I
happening,
guess. And then so the counter
And it's
argument
all-
would
it's
be,
a- it's
well,
all-
then that's a really good illusion, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, because like stuff do be happening, right?
So where's the line between where an illusion is so intense that it's real?
Well,
Bum,
The-
bum, bum.
the what's it called? The rub. That's it. The rub comes when you consider that if you were not in this illusion, that maybe like way less stuff would be happening, and you'd be able to get a handle on stuff a lot easier, right? So they're trying to keep you distracted, because that's the point of any conspiracy, is to keep you distracted and busy, so you're a good little obedient worker.
Oh, so it's capitalism. So if I
Yeah.
had more money, things would be easier.
Yeah.
But that's never going to happen.
Yeah. Right.
I'd be thinking it's going to happen.
Yeah, and this is
Next
just one,
week.
and this, you know,
Every
the links that the crony capitalists will go to keep you working under their thumb, like hologramming the sky, or holographing the sky. And,
Is this that Iran bullshit?
yeah, it's the breakaway organization type stuff. Or like, because that's what I'm saying, like, Richard Branson and Jeff Bezos, like, who are these dudes? Amazon, Virgin Mobile, like, really? Those two dudes go to space? That's what you're telling me? Like, that's I don't know. Like,
It's disappointing.
it is disappointing. And also,
I
like,
mean, no, it is.
have you seen Jeff Bezos? That dude doesn't look like he should go to space. I don't want to just judge somebody off their appearance totally, but like I'm not looking at Jeff Bezos. I'm like, that guy's going to space, you know? Like when I
I mean, if overstated was a person.
yeah. It's just I don't know. It's literally
That's
and
neat.
figuratively out there.
There you go. If underwhelming grew legs and walked around,
Yeah.
and then
That's-
got in a phallic spaceship and went to the moon.
That's a whole
Whose
other
size
thing.
apparently in question. No, we did not go to the moon. This
It's
is
so
fake
it's so funny because like I went through a big Stanley Kubrick phase when I was like 16. I think you probably remember. Uh,
news.
and I was like, oh, he's cool. And then I kind of fell out of it later as an
I
adult.
also, as somebody who just stated, that Ayn Rand bullshit,
Yeah.
I got on that bullshit train there for a while. I
Yeah.
did. That
Well, it's designed to get you
those
when you're
memes
young.
I'm back on my bullshit.
Yeah.
Well, I was on somebody else's bullshit, and
For
it was
sure.
Ayn Rand's.
But like,
But now, like, I'm off.
you off that bullshit.
Go back on that one. That's not what the memes are
That's
ever
not,
referring
yeah.
to.
That's not the bullshit you want to get back on.
Nope.
But they're designed to get like teenagers, right? You know, they're designed for that niche. But so like as an adult, I kind of fell out of it, and like as I've gotten back into the paranormal, into ufology, and into cryptozoology and stuff like that, like he's popping back up again, and like I don't have to go back and rewatch his
Yeah,
films.
what's
'cause
poppin', Stanley Kubrick?
Yeah, because there are two views on Stanley Kubrick. Either he helped fake all the famous things that have happened, or he's trying to he's trying to tell you about all the secret things that have happened through his movies,
Okay.
or any combination thereof. You know, maybe he's trying to tell you,
So
and he
is-
helped fake it.
He's either, like, biggest ally or biggest enemy.
Yeah.
Boy, howdy,
Or a
is it
double
gonna
agent.
suck to do wrong on this
Yeah.
one?
Especially because by all accounts, you know, people
I've never
who work
read
with
any of
him-
his work, so you're
Oh, he
coming
wasn't-
at a
he
very
wasn't-
ignorant person.
He,
with
he,
this.
he just did movies. He didn't
Add
write.
that to the list.
Yeah.
Bones. Stanley Kubrick. And what's the other one? What's the other one? Holograms.
Oh yeah.
I'm thinking about these three things.
When you said Bones, I thought you meant the TV show for a minute. I was like, I've also never seen that.
Also something I know thankfully little about, from what I understand.
But like Stanley Kubrick movies are really good. Like they're like a really well made record, right? Like the technical aspects of filming are very good. The screens are very symmetrically shot. He uses negative space very well. You know, it's very very well made film. You know, and there's this really famous thing that he supposedly did on purpose, where if you watch The Shining backwards and forwards at the same time,
Oh, is
They-
he responsible for that? Okay,
Yeah.
that's who we're talking about here. Okay.
yeah, he just did like impressive things with film, basically. But like, yeah,
I don't know.
he helped make the moon landing video, supposedly, allegedly. Just pepper that in there liberally.
That's what I like about you.
But
Or appreciates about you. That's it.
appreciation.
I just butchered that right out of the gate. So
But-
Stanley Kubrick traumatizing women for showbiz,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
Okay, well, sounds like something that
And possibly as a
that-
government double agent.
I'm trying to come up with a word that I can use that the kids are about. That unkind person.
Yeah.
I'll come up with something in the future. But all the four-letter words are not appropriate.
You can call him a rat bastard. You know?
I do like rat bastard.
Yeah. Yeah, that's soft enough to borrow a phrase.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
Okay, so that rat bastard. Okay.
Yeah.
Believable. Believable to me.
Yeah.
I think he would be on board with something.
Yeah, he strikes me as a
nefarious.
nefarious dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Luckily we have Cokes here. So I'll grab one. Speaking of which, I grab a sip of this Gatorade, which I misplaced, which I brought specially for the occasion since I knew that I was going to be having a chatting buddy, and this would be a more lively conversation. Usually I have to go on and off about this stuff just
Yeah,
to
the
an
cats
audience.
are terrible conversationalists. Doesn't stop me, but you know.
Great listeners, terrible conversationalists.
No, I'm not even going to give them the great listeners.
Well, Bob is.
Bob do be attentive, particularly if I stand anywhere near the fridge.
Very, very true.
Yeah, I see.
Yes. Yes, you may. But yeah, last week, no, I wasn't even a week ago, it was just 3 days ago on my stream, I was talking about deep faking reality and how,
Okay, I'm serious now. It's deep faking.
Yeah.
Alright.
I'm
Do
gonna,
tell me more.
I'm going to be saying deep faking a lot. Deep faking.
You gotta put that
Uh,
gusto on it.
Yeah, you got to get it with the gusto.
Shout out to the Daddy Sisters. Y'all should check that band out.
Yes, you should. They're probably on Bandcamp. If they're not, check them out on Facebook, the Daddy Sisters. Very, very, very awesome band. They kick a lot of ass. Yeah, I was talking about deep faking reality and how about the media can use even real things that happen to distort people's perception of reality to create a narrative that they want or that they've been told
For
to
someone
create.
who hates V for Vendetta so damn much,
It's not
we
that I
need to
hate it.
rewatch it now that
Yeah.
you are a little bit more open-minded.
Yeah. Well, yeah. On the first or second episode, I talked about my slow erosion for trust in authorities, you know, the government and big media outlets. And I used to just make fun of people who would be like, I get my news from Twitter, but like, there are tons of like,
That's becoming more, more and more credible.
yeah, there are tons of verified journalists on Twitter. Like,
Yeah.
you don't have to follow MSNBC. You can follow that one journalist you like from MSNBC or that one journalist you like from Fox. Like Tucker Carlson, that dude's a piece of shit. You know what else? He's also the only dude on mainstream media who reports on UFO sightings at all.
Yeah, it's hard to stifle him on my personal account.
Yeah, because like, you know what? He's the #1 rated talk show host on TV, so he can talk about whatever he wants. If he wants to talk about paranormal, crazy stuff, you know, woo-woo, tinfoil hat report.
We're watching that movie again.
I know there's a dude like that who
Yeah,
gets...
it's okay.
Yeah. I remember that part. But I don't
Speaking
want...
of Happy Pride.
Huh? Oh, yeah. It's no longer Pride Month, but
No, by no means.
we are out here living that Pride life, so we're gonna count that. It's always Pride Month around here.
We went to go to a celebration today.
Yeah, we did go to a Pride celebration today, which was also, I didn't think about it, but that was so nice to have a Pride celebration outside of Pride Month.
Yeah.
That was hella cool.
I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm gay all 12 of them.
Yeah, I'm pretty queer all 12 of those months. Now I gotta make a queer for Sasquatch t-shirt.
You don't have to.
I mean, I'm gonna, though.
But it is optional.
Yeah, it is, but it's not. So, I'm gonna do that now. I'm just gonna take the Sasquatch shirt that I already have mocked up and add to it. It's gonna be great.
That pose he's striking just got a whole lot less wholesome.
I don't think you can have a... Well, I don't know. See, that's another thing. I'll use this as a segue back into the Bigfoot talk. Because there, you know... there are a lot of Bigfoot sightings all over the world, depending on what type of Bigfoot you're talking about. And a lot of them have different types of personalities. The ones in North America seem to be quite friendly, for the most part. There's an infamously bad movie called The Legend of Boggy Creek 2 that gives that kind of side of it, where a Bigfoot child get like captured by a crazy Creole dude in Louisiana. Um, and the Bigfoot's just like, I want to raise my baby and be left alone, you know. But then the humans gotta come and invade the swampland.
I mean, what we humans do.
But then, like, you have your abominable snowmen, right? That, like, kill you and, like, you
Excuse
eat
me,
you.
have you not seen Monsters Inc.?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But, you know, the traditional story.
Abominable. That's just, that's what a way to label a guy. Just right out the gate. You don't give him a chance. Just straight. I mean, you walk up to a fella and he's like, "Hey, I'm abominable." Right there. There you go.
Alright, we got some.
You just have that preconception. Just it's snowman. Just snowman. I don't like labels.
So, you know, we got we got to account
Back to the facts.
for all types of yetis.
There we go. Aren't those different though? Or is that
I
just
think-
in the telling kind of thing?
You know, I'm not 100% certain. Maybe, maybe an abominable snowman is just a pissed off yeti. You know?
Yeah, there we go. Some days I'm an abominable willow.
Yeah. Some days I'm a grumpy bear. Most days I'm a pretty relaxed bear. But to speak more to the original point of the paranormal aspects of Big Feet, which is where this started. Yeah, so
So many big moons ago.
I think that they probably gathered their bones. I also think that Big Feet are capable of small scale magical acts. I think they're capable of maybe making themselves invisible or teleporting over short distances. I think they might live in small, to them, hollowed out areas under the ground that don't have physical imprints, and they're able to transport to and from the surface to hunt. But like, it takes a lot of energy to do that, so they can only, do it so often. Because I mean, the reason birds can fly so well is because their bones are hollow and they don't weigh anything, so it doesn't take a lot of energy for them to fly, right? So, you got this big thing. It's like awkward to move around. Well, you can teleport for just a minute, like 2 or 3 times a day. So they're like, bad, I'm gonna live in a giant hole in the ground and then just leave to hunt, and then never let anybody see me. Because that's a pretty good survival method. It's just to like be secretive, especially if you're like quite large and not as evolved tool wise as other primates in your region. Because I mean, all the other primates that coexisted with humans got either bred out or killed off by Homo sapiens sapiens, as Lyndon Moulton Howe would say. And for a large primate species to survive alongside humans, you have to have habitat that's really hospitable towards them, such as the monkeys or the apes in the region where those animals live. That seems to be a pretty standard type tropical or near tropical region. So to have an ape-like creature in North America, this far north, like I think it would have to be distinct and different in some way. And I think that, being larger, it would be able to maintain more effective body heat. It would be able to maybe pack on some fat and store that like a bear or something. And it just, I keep thinking, like, why is it when we get footage of these things, they're always blurry? And, like, is it because Bigfoot is blurry? Like, is it existence blurry? And I saw that as a meme on Facebook, and I was like, what if that's true, though? What if it's, like, what if it is kind of blurry, right? Because it's, like, we can only catch it when it's, like, vanishing out of sight back into its hole in the ground or something. Uh, I mean,
I'm going a whole nother direction.
yeah.
I think it's just like a chameleon.
Yeah.
You know, and not exactly. What's the movie? Predator.
Oh, yeah.
It's got some.
It's got, like,
wicked
camo skin.
camouflage going on.
You know what? That could very
That's
well
why
be
it's
it.
blurry, is because it's like blending.
It's got, like, that color
Its
changing.
makeup skills are just on point.
That would make a lot of sense.
I mean,
There could
it
be a
just
Bigfoot
blends.
here right now.
Yeah, it's just blending and hanging tight. It's kind of still. I mean, if you were looking for it,
I think that's one of the
mean-
reasons why we can't get good pictures of UFOs, too, is because they have the same.
Chicken Little. I love Chicken Little. The sky's falling.
And I know that we've talked about how big corporations and the government put stuff like this in media to
Yeah.
make it seem less believable.
Make it more palatable, but more fantastical as well.
Yeah. Like, they'll get you used to the idea, so if you do find out, your mind isn't completely broken.
We have been feeding this to you the whole time because we are good and benevolent, and we didn't want you, oops, we got caught.
Now on to the second question of the evening. Well, I guess it's the first question, because this is a question that I have for you specifically. I don't have an answer to it. Well, I have an opinion on it, but I don't have an answer to it because, well, you'll see. So, assuming that there is some big, and like I said, for this hypothetical, we are assuming that this part is true, that there is some big conspiracy to cover up the existence of a large ape, a large North American ape. Why would such a conspiracy exist if it did?
Alright, my theories are this. My theory, I have one so far. It's low population makes it just an incredible risk of extinction, and humans are assholes and would definitely hunt something if there was 4 left.
Yes.
1000% would do that.
Well,
If you've ever seen Ferngully, or no, that's just rainforest, but still, that's how humans be.
Do you
So
remember
that's
the
why,
dentist
'cause
that killed
there's-
Cecil the lion?
You remember that there is an actual law. What is the law? There's like a Florida something, there's something that there's actually a fine for harassing it. And I don't know much about it. This is a vague memory. It lives in the swamps, and it is considered a locally protected species, and there is a fine for harassing it. And while many people think it's amusing, I mean, why? So, that's why. Because humans are assholes and would definitely hunt something to extinction purely to have done it. Because, one of them just went to space in a dick.
Yeah. But do you remember Cecil the lion?
Yeah.
There was a dentist who went on a safari and he killed this lion. It was like the only lion he wasn't supposed to kill. You know what I'm saying?
See, and there you go. Like, I'm not saying all humans are like that. In
But
fact,
there are enough
I
of
feel like the vast majority are quite the antithesis of that. But you got the astronauts. And you got the dentist.
So there's this paradox called Fermi's paradox, and it's like the universe should be teeming with life, so why don't we see it all the time? And one of the solutions to it is called the Great Filter, and it basically states that once a civilization becomes so advanced, it's probably just going to like destroy itself in a certain period of time. Uh, but like that's always struck me as weird because I'm like, well, just because like all the people you know are dicks doesn't mean that every species that develops sentient life is going to be dicks. You know, like we can't base it all on humans. I feel like that's not fair to anyone.
What was it? Stranger, Strange World, Strange World, something. I can't recall the precise name of it. Should, but it was late and I'm very tired. That book was lent to me by a good friend, and showing the difference of perspective and ways of thinking. It's very interesting. I recommend the title next time.
Alright. Well, that sounds like a pretty good place to wrap it up. Leaving one more, right?
I have a theory though on why we're not seeing a bunch of life.
Okay, yeah.
It's been deemed too damn dangerous.
Yeah, that's also very
like,
true.
and not because whoa, we're so advanced and we got no, like we kill things, we kill each other on sight. Like,
yeah.
I mean, we give people authority to do it, and I mean any kind of light
Yeah.
examination of humankind would be very pessimistic on the surface, I think. Or at least be like, give them some more time. I think they're still figuring things out, you know.
I think to speak to that point, we have multiple departments, military, police, and others that are authorized to use deadly force on various groups of people.
Yeah.
But that's not even enough because people go on and form militias
Do some more of that.
and like gun clubs and all this other stuff, and states pass stand your ground laws, you know, so that you can just be out here shooting people with no recourse.
So yeah, if I was an alien, I'd be like, you know what, honey, I don't think we should stop here.
Yeah.
We should just keep cruising.
Yeah. And I don't know, you know,
Maybe the
I'm
next
all
planet.
for, you know, I don't know, you get into a sticky situation because like,
They just check in. That's what I've ever seen you. They just check in every so often to see if we figured it out yet. And
I don't know today, fellas. There was another Tic Tac sighting recently, but I didn't.
oh, what?
Tic Tac UFO.
Boo, I thought you meant TikTok. Like somebody was making a TikTok and oh shit, there's a UFO.
I bet that's happened.
I thought Tic Tac, like when it gets really weird. When it gets into the supernatural, it's no longer TikTok, Tic Tac.
Tic Tac sounds like screen printers. Tic Tac. You know, get the Tic Tac. Spray adhesive.
You want this bottle thrown at you, don't you?
You know, I tend to agree with you on that theory that we've been deemed dangerous. There's some throwaway joke, and it's either a Star Trek group or it could be in an episode that I watched that you know, good Vulcan scientists and engineers always keep a human on staff. Do you know why?
What's up?
Because once you've tried every logical answer, the human will try something that is completely outrageous and no one ever tried in a million years, and it will probably work.
Damn if that ain't the nation.
Yeah. But you know, that's kind of it. Like, we are just kind of a wild card. Or, I mean, I believe that we are a wild card. Ever since I've, you know, accepted that there's a para-reality kind of going on, I've been remembering my dreams more often. Like I told you about that dream I had where I went to open mic and didn't drink, and I felt like I was visiting an alternate reality.
Mhm.
You know, uh, I'm kind of starting to remember like a little bit more of like what my quote unquote nightmares were like when I was a kid. Because I think I told you about that one where I was like fighting aliens with Will Smith, right? And it was just like Independence Day. Uh, well, like, and I shut my dreams down a long time ago, but like some of that stuff's coming back, and like a lot of it is just like me being in really weird places, and like seeing really weird stuff. And I think that I was maybe, uh, like, I think they call it remote viewing or like
Mhm.
astral projecting into into an alternate reality sort of situation.
I'm on board with that.
Uh, yeah, because like and like I've had a lot of like precognitive events too. I think we've talked about that where like I'll just know something's gonna happen and then it does. Like I mean I know it's like throwing water at the ocean, but like today, when we went to that event, I was like, we're gonna see, because it's such a small town. I was like, we're gonna see somebody we know, right? But I was like, it's gonna be weirder than that. It's gonna be somebody we know that we did not expect to see here, and then the Daddy Sisters played, right? Uh, and then like right, I don't know. It's just little intuitive things. I think a lot of it is just like intuition that you can like tap into, but it's like the horoscopes that I've been reading, right? They're getting more and more accurate, but it's because like I'm putting work into tapping into it, you know, and now that I've started that and I'm kind of remembering these old what I used to think were just like wild nightmares, like, and it turns out that's how a lot of people like start experiencing that stuff. They'll like have an unlocking moment, and then they'll be like, "Yeah." It turns out I've just been like blocking this out for most of my life because I didn't want to seem like a crazy person, you know. Um, but now everybody kind of thinks that I'm bonkers anyway. So who cares?
Yeah, it's the least thing I think about.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna be out here with it, and maybe one of these days we'll find Bigfoot.
Until then,
All right, thank you guys for joining us. Until next time, stay safe. Good night, good morning, wherever you are all across the world. This is Bear.
this
We
is
didn't
Hillary.
find Bigfoot this week, did we?
No, thanks.
All right, good night.